Okay, so because last night's video worked so well with me writing out the information to make sure that I stayed on topic and didn't forget anything, I went on ahead and did it for these subjects that I'm going to touch on in this video. They kind of piggyback yesterday's video. And again, all of this information that I'm sharing is ways to get the baggage off of you, to make your spiritual journey easier and much smoother, so that you're not having to work through the uncomfortability with the spiritual journey, as well as your own personal issues, because sometimes it can get confusing when you have dual layers like that. So I'm going to go over these next 3 very important topics. And again, everybody has to navigate through these things. Don't feel like if you have to do it, that you're just a problem or anything, because you're not. Because truth be told, everyone is experiencing these issues. It's just whether or not we can be real with ourselves and face them and fix them. Okay, so if you guys have any issues or questions on the stuff that I'm touching on, and you need more clarity, or even just want a personal reading based on the information that I am giving, contact me, email me. I don't charge for my readings right now. I do plan to start, but you might as well take advantage of them being free. So the first one is going to be victim mentality, okay? So victim mentality is a state of mind that a lot of people associate with it being a personality, and it's not. It is when someone starts to believe that life only happens to them, and that they have little to no power to change their situation. And unfortunately, this almost always comes from a person experiencing real pain, real trauma, or long periods of hardship before they get a break. And these hardships include instability. These people are not being dramatic, because it's real to them. And it's a protective response that has become a pattern that they use. So people stuck in the victim mentality, they often say things like, nothing ever works out for me, or why do people always hurt me, or I can't fix this isn't my fault, or why does this always have to happen to me. It's really easy to get stuck in this mentality, because it feels safer for them to put that barrier up than to have to feel like they're failing another situation yet again. And you guys, let me just tell you, I understand that it is so frustrating to build your life up to a certain point and then have it literally ripped apart faster than it took you to build it. I mean, it took, when I actually started to try to to build something serious with my life, it took me 7 years to get to a point where I was comfortable and I had good employment and I had a nice place and my kids were happy. And within less than a month, it was all taken from me. Everything. My credit went down to beyond acceptable, okay? Below acceptable. Like nobody will look at me. And I lost my house, my kids, lost my identity, your self-worth. Everything goes out the window in a second. So just know that sometimes you're put in those positions to have to rebuild, lose it, rebuild, lose it, because one, either the foundation that you built isn't as steady as Spirit knows you can make it, or because they know that you have the resilience and the resources and the determination to do it. That's kind of what the path is for you so that you can help others. But anyways, let me get back to what it was. So it's really easy to get stuck in that mentality because it feels safer than trying or having to admit that they're failing again. If life has taught someone that their effort leads to disappointment, their mind then tells them, don't try, don't move, don't risk. So they don't even bother with trying to get themselves out of that hole that it has put them in. It gives a sense of false identity for them. When someone has been hurt repeatedly, the one who survives the bad things, this then becomes their role. And after years of them being in this role over and over again of having to be the survivor in traumatic situations, their mind automatically takes that label and says, well, this is who you are, this is what you get, this is what your life is. And really that's not the case. It does remove, in a sense, when they use that barrier, it removes a responsibility in a comforting way for them. So this is a way that you never have to face the pressure of making choices, because at this point they no longer trust themselves to make the choices. They're at a point where they feel the choices they make are the reason why they're put into these situations. It attracts attention and what they think is care and validation. So to them, it's when I'm struggling, I have people who come in and help me. I'm not alone. But when I'm alone, I have to be strong. And for them, being strong is painful because they're so used to being in a position where the trauma is so severe that they need people to help. So it's codependency that kicks in, right? And plays a big role. Trauma also rewires the nervous system. So the body stays in loops of where they get a trigger, then fear. And if you watch my last video, fear is a huge illusion. So when they get triggered and it puts them in this fear, they are then thrown into this illusion and it shuts them down. And then they go back to the trigger, fear, and illusion, or trigger, fear, and shutdown. So in a sense, they're continuously living in this illusion and have no idea of what their reality is actually like. In a sense, it's a fight or flight system that they are stuck on frozen in. They don't have enough ability to widen their vision and see past the victim mentality, to see that this is an illusion and to be able to step aside and pull themselves out of it. And so being stuck in it too, it's a really painful, mentally painful cycle to be in. And I know enough people that when they get around somebody who is stuck in the victim mentality, they get frustrated, and they get into fights, and that's gonna trigger them even more. And I get the frustration of it, because it's like, geez, when are you gonna realize that everyone around you is trying to be positive and put you on that positive level, but you're refusing to accept it? Well, we all have to be conscious of what exactly was the trauma this person went in, and how long have they been in it, how long have they been experiencing it, and why hasn't anyone helped them work through it and get them out of that mind frame. Breaking the victim mentality takes a lot of hard work. And in my last video, the stuff I touched on there, I told you it takes a lot of hard work. This is like, if you're going to work on this stuff, because one, it helps you grow. Two, it does bring in a better life, better quality of life for you. But three, it's opening yourself up to things you have always wanted but didn't think that you were worthy of. Okay, so it's giving you a chance to shoot for the stars, type of thing. And you have to be conscious every day about needing to shift your identity and your energy and mindset out of that. So every thought that comes through your head, you have to stop and evaluate. Was that negative? Was that connected to my victim mentality? Was that a victim mentality thought or comment? How should I have rephrased that? It all comes in steps. You have to be conscious of the thought first. You have to stop that thought, and you have to realize that the fear that is connected to the victim mentality is making you feel that something that has not happened yet is what's putting you there. So you have to tell yourself, okay, well, right now I'm safe. Right now I'm okay. Right now I might be overreacting because of what I think is going to happen. Let me sit back for a minute and think about what other ways I can approach this situation. You do have to tell yourself, this is not happening to you. It's responding to you. Okay? So this puts you in creator mode when you tell yourself that, instead of reactor mode. So victim mentality, you're constantly reacting to your environment. If you can consciously catch those thoughts or those reactions and tell yourself, hold on, wait a second, this isn't happening to me, okay? I'm responding. So let it respond to me. Let me take control back. That, in a sense, will help you rewrite your internal story. So how you're going to rewrite your internal story, and all of this comes down to rewiring your brain. Just like they say, a habit takes 30 days to break, of every day working on it. same thing here. You'll tell yourself when things do go wrong, then you're going to transform the thing that you said went wrong. And how you'll do that is you'll go from, this is always happening to me, this situation that is happening right now, it always goes wrong. You're going to stop that thought and you're going to say, okay, I've survived this before and I'm still standing. What is it that I need to do with this situation? Did the last time I handled it work out okay, or should I choose a different option on how to take care of this? Don't be afraid to reach out to people and say, hey, look, this is my situation. Do you have any options for me to choose from? I need help because I'm stuck in this cycle. I need some new ideas. You're also going to need to reclaim responsibility. And not out of blame for yourself, okay? You're not going to blame yourself. Being responsible doesn't mean that it's your fault. It means that you're taking your power back and you're going to change the direction that you're going in. So you're going to tell yourself you're not responsible for what is happening to you or all the things that have happened to you. But you are going to be responsible for taking care of your healing now, for mending the broken parts of you. And it's going to be taking small steps each and every day, okay? And at first, you're going to feel like this is not doing anything for me. But I promise you, if you just keep chugging along, one day, maybe 6 months down the line, maybe a year, you'll wake up one day and all of a sudden you'll see the change. It'll just be there. I promise you. You're gonna make one power call. Each day you're gonna do this, okay? You're gonna make one power call. Whether that be telling everyone, look, you're not going to not be here for dinner at 5 p.m. I have dinner ready at 5 every night. I want every last one of you in this house at 5. Okay, you're going to make a power call. Clean one corner. So cleaning one corner is like addressing one thing about you that you don't like. So for me, when I did this was, I was constantly told that the way I talk sounded condescending or like I was stuck up, right? And so what I did was I would talk on the phone, and while talking I would go stand in front of the mirror just to see my facial expressions and how I looked. And I caught it. I was like, whoa. I didn't know. I don't look at myself. And at that time, I did not really have mirrors in my house. I had the bathroom mirror and then one that was like in my grandfather clock that I had in my house. Other than that, I didn't like mirrors because I do not like the way I look. That's my insecurity, right? So when I did that and I looked in the mirror, I was like, oh my goodness. It was embarrassing. I was like, this whole time I've been looking like this. It's like, that's crazy. I'm glad somebody said something, but why did it take them this long? Anyways, and then you're gonna set one boundary, right? So for you, if the way somebody talks to you is a trigger, you're gonna say, hey, look, I know you've been talking to me like this for quite some time, and I'm gonna let you know that I'm doing work on myself, and I've pretty much let you and everyone else get away with it, but today it stops. And if you do it again, you're gonna leave my house, and we're done. And you have to stick to what you say. Just like when you raise kids, if you keep telling kids, oh, I'm gonna spank you, or oh, I'm gonna put you in the corner, or oh, you're not getting the phone, and you don't follow through, they're going to keep testing you and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. They're not going to take you seriously. So even though it's going to hurt to put your foot down and to be stern and strong, at the end of the day, when you start to receive your respect, you're going to feel real good. You're going to be like, damn, I should have did that a long time ago, right? And then learn one coping skill. The coping skill is going to be for when you get triggered. So for me, because I've been put in some situations where I literally could not leave the room and still had to deal with somebody saying things like poking the bear, just keep like they wanted me to go crazy. I got headphones. I walk around with these all day long, and when people start triggering me, I just grab my phone and put my music on and I ignore them. Yep. You just smile and nod. Yep. Whatever you say. Okay. Yep. And just listen. Don't take in what they're saying. It helps. And what this is going to do is rebuild your self-trust. You're going to start trusting yourself to know that you can take care of yourself. You can protect yourself. Then next, you're going to stop identifying as the wound being you. Okay? You are not the trauma that happened to you. You are not the reason why the trauma keeps happening to you. Okay? There is nothing about you that says you deserve that. I promise you. And then you're also going to let yourself know you've lived through it. It's an experience. Okay? It's not who you are. And you have to tell yourself this. You have to say it out loud. Your ears have to hear it for the brain to register it and do something with it. Shifting your identity and how to view yourself is the key thing. So what I would do is sit down and think about who is it you want to become like? What type of characteristics do those people have? What type of morals do they have? What type of boundaries do those type of people set for themselves? And you're gonna create that for yourself, and you're gonna follow through with it. You have to follow through with it, otherwise it's not gonna be taken seriously. And then people stuck in the victim mentality around themselves often have constant chaos. They often have drama around them. They often have emotionally unstable relationships. They often have people who reinforce their helplessness. So this one is key, okay? If you are someone who knows you're stuck in victim mentality and you're reevaluating your environment and you're realizing that you got someone that is reinforcing that helplessness, you need to look and evaluate the intentions and motive behind that person, because there is something wrong if somebody is reinforcing helplessness. That means that person is either manipulating you for their own selfish gain, or they're purposely keeping you mentally stuck like that. And why? Okay? Don't get mad at them. Once you figure that out, cut them off. Don't let them back around you, because they're not here to lift you up and ensure that you're becoming the best you can be. If they're in competition with you, and that's their sick way of staying ahead, cut them off. If they're a part of what is triggering you, okay, and you haven't figured that part out, because some people are good at disguising that type of stuff, cut them off. They're not bringing any gain, so what is the problem if you lose it? Now, say in this situation, when it's coming to you, right? You say, what's my next move? you need to really think not just one step ahead, but 2 steps ahead. So if I make this decision, now that this situation has happened, who's it going to involve? Are these people a part of helping uplift you or helping you make correct decisions? Or are these people a part of keeping you in this helpless mode? If so, choose another decision to make, another route to take, or see if you can call on someone else to fulfill the shoes that you would have that person in, okay? And I'll tell you, look, if you genuinely are honest with yourself and the people around you and say, hey, look, I know I might be hard to talk to, and that's probably why you didn't bring this to my attention, but I know that I'm stuck in this victim mentality, and I know that that's probably why I don't get a lot of help from people. But if you let them know that you have now recognized it and that you are now working on it, and it's something that you want to solve, right? So it's not a part of you anymore. They'll start being more inclined to help, okay? You need to know that staying stuck, if you don't fix this, okay, and you continue to live your life in this mentality, it's going to drain your power, your energy. It will drain you. It will make you sick. Your body will break down, and you will start to manifest illnesses in the body. Okay, your ability to create a life you want, it will be blocked. Your ability to make changes to start to create the life you want will be blocked. And the inability to sense and know who you are, as well as sense and know who the people around you are, will be almost impossible. Okay? It keeps your nervous system locked up in survival mode, and it attracts disempowering relationships. So you're attracting partners that figure this out about you, and they figure, oh, I could potentially get away with doing certain things if I put them in this type of frame of mind. If you notice that a partner is triggering you and putting you in that fight or flight mode to where you're in this victim mentality, pay attention to what it is your partner is engaging in, either right after you're done arguing or during the argument. Are they leaving the house? Are they on their phone? Are they in the same room? Is their attempt to make you go crazy and hurt yourself? I mean, you gotta really evaluate this, okay? Because I had a friend who was with a man, and they each had kids from a previous relationship, and this man was so mentally abusive that his ex-wife became addicted to a really hard drug, okay? And he ended up taking the kids. Well, my friend, I started to see her go down mentally, and she was saying how he wanted to adopt her kids, and I said, no. I said, that's weird, and considering what his last relationship was like, this doesn't sound good. She ended up committing suicide, and he wanted to try to get custody of her kids. So there are people out there who get off on watching people go crazy and get mad and get upset and hurt themselves. And that is the saddest part, because you're so lost from what has happened prior to them coming around that they're banking on you not finding your way out the maze. Don't let anyone ever have control over you like that. Okay? Please don't. And being in the victim mentality, you repeat trauma that is just like past trauma over and over again. It disconnects you from your intuition, and it stops you from walking in your life's purpose. So these people are people who are never going to know what their true purpose was here on earth. It shrinks your world. It makes you feel the size of your inner child again, and you're an adult. And it makes you feel like you don't have choices or the right to make decisions based off of your reactions. So even, let's say you are someone who has a really bad temper, and so the law tends to get involved quite a bit, that in turn would be what takes your decision making away from you, your power, because law enforcement is now involved. So just remember, it's not who you truly are, okay? The next one is negative thoughts. So if you're people who constantly endure negative thoughts or negative talk to themselves, their mind has learned to protect them, but in a negative way. So these would be people who have this survival mechanism because they grew up in environments that were chaotic. They endured a lot of criticism. They were rejected quite a bit as a child, or they were talked to in a way that created a lot of doubt about themselves. The brain gets addicted to what is familiar. Okay, so growing up in environments like that as an adult, you go and seek those environments. And because those environments taught you to think and talk like that, that is how you think and talk as an adult. Repetition of negative thoughts, of statements, it strengthens your neural pathways to cling to the negative thought and talk as it being your first thought. So it automatically pulls in that negativity and throws it at you as your first thought, which skews your intuition, okay? Because your intuition could be coming in to warn you, but because you're used to that pattern, it's like a magnet and clung to that first and throwing it to you. So then you get confused. You don't know what's your intuition and what's the trauma there, right? A lot of people with the negative thoughts and talk are ones that say, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, and something will go wrong. So it's a confidence issue behind their decision making or their ability to complete tasks and things. This talk comes from past and old voices. So a parent, a partner, a bully from school, society, and childhood experiences. So all of this goes back to childhood, okay, which is why inner child work very important. The mind filters reality through pain, okay? And so negative self-talk is a form of fear. And if fear is an illusion, you're stuck in an illusion, and your mind is trying to find the reality in that illusion, and it can't. So you have no sense of what your real reality is again. This type of thought feeds off of low energetic states of negative thinking and feeling. So when you are your most down, if you lost a job, if you lost a partner, if you lost your housing, if your bills are overwhelming you, or you're just super exhausted and haven't gotten enough sleep to be able to think properly. In order to break this, you're going to become aware of the negative thoughts, and you're going to counteract it with doing 2 positive thoughts for every 1 negative. Now, I know that can be hard to do, so I will give you alternatives. They're called neutral thoughts instead of the positives, because there are some people that think really low of themselves that you could ask them to come up with 2 positives and they'll sit there for hours and have nothing positive to say about themselves. So the most negative thoughts are not truths. That's what you have to remember. When the negative thought comes into your mind, it is absolutely no truth to it whatsoever. They are actually echoes from trauma that you have been through, okay? And you don't need to believe them. So, to start conversing, to throw this off, you can start conversing with yourself as if you're talking to somebody you actually do love and you talk nice to. It's role playing. So you're going to pretend like you're not talking to yourself, that when you're thinking in your mind, or, if you talk out loud, sometimes I do, you're going to pretend that you're actually talking to a loved one so that you can rewire yourself and the relationship that you hold with yourself to make it more positive. If like I said, jumping from negative to a positive thought is too much, some neutralizing ways you can do that instead of replacing it with 2 positives. As soon as that negative thought hits, you can say, I don't know yet, or I'm figuring that out, or this is temporary. Let me see what's going on and I'll get back to you. You can just tell your mind, hey, put that on pause. I'll get back to you. Act like it's somebody calling to get some information from you, and you just you're busy. The neutral statement will still rewire, and it is actually a better way to do it than being fake with yourself and lying to yourself, because your inner self knows when you're not making a true statement. To interrupt the negative thought with an action instead of a talk, if you don't feel comfortable with replacing it with a statement, you can just simply get up, do something like go get a drink of water, or clean the house, or move your body in some type of way. Because what happens is when you're thinking or you're talking and your body starts to move, your mind has to actually attempt to multitask, right? And that's hold a conversation and move. And so what you're doing is redirecting the talking, the thinking part, and focusing on the movement. So you're just cutting it off. You're cutting the negativity off right there. And that's a really good one to do as well. Negative thoughts and talk are contagious. So if you are and this is why environment is important, because if you're someone that lives in an environment where maybe you weren't someone who thought negative or talked negative before, but in the last so many years you've realized that this is something that's become a part of you, and you haven't connected the dots. You thought maybe, oh well, my roommate, we both go through shitty things in life, and maybe it's just gotten too much for both of you. go a little bit deeper than that, because it could actually be the way that the roommate is responding to situations is now reflecting onto you. You're picking it up, and you're now responding that way. Okay. And so what you'll need to do is change the environment. You'll have to change the people around you that are doing it. You'll have to reduce the overstimulation. So when the brain gets tired, it is just easier for it to, or just say, yeah, okay, whatever. Or, yeah, right, just shun it off, or not even have a positive thing to say. And that is because it's exhausted. You've overstimulated it. So you'll have to stop with the overstimulation and get some rest. Reduce drama. The people who like to stir up drama or create drama or are quick to react in a very dramatic way, keep them at a distance. Create your own calm space within your area that you can go to, that will just let you relax, so that you can think and really pinpoint what the hell is going on and why you think and talk like this. Practice gratitude daily. This is also one way to help stop that. What are you thankful for that happened throughout the day? Who are you thankful for? And journal. Journaling is a great way to heal trauma, and a lot of times the negative talk and thoughts are because of trauma. Okay, I'm gonna hurry up so you guys can be done. So this next one is mental prison. Okay, now when I was a psych aide, that is what I saw quite a bit with my mental health clients, is that it started out as them putting themselves in a mental prison before it escalated to a full-blown illness. A mental prison is when your mind becomes the cage that keeps you stuck because you were conditioned to survive instead of live. Your thoughts control you. Your fears limit you. Your past defines you.
Who's here?
I have no idea. Your self-talk punishes you. Your imagination works against you instead of for you. So this happens because this is an overthinking thing that never stops. And fear blocks every decision. Old memories play on repeat all the time. Wanting to change but unable to move on that change. And that's being physically capable, but emotionally you're frozen on it. And then your mind continues to tell you and convinces you that any move forward you make is dangerous. Okay? Again, it lies to you. Trauma that never healed is another reason people put themselves in a mental prison, because they truly feel that they are not worthy. And I don't care what your past has done to you. No one can dictate your worth. Only you. Negative beliefs for years will then start to form your mind to believe this about you. So for example, my mom always told me I was a glutton for punishment, and that pretty much I deserved what happened to me. Nobody is a glutton for punishment, okay? And nobody deserves to have those types of things happen. And then people they get stuck in the helplessness, and then old wounds that were not healed. So you'll realize the cage isn't real. You'll change one thought at a time, So you're going to need to realize that you cannot believe everything that your mind says, okay? You'll pull energy out of the past, and you'll replace fear with curiosity. So when it says pull energy out of the past, you are going to need to work really hard and catch yourself when you are reminiscing. You're going to have to stop the reminiscing for a while and stay in the current moment, okay? In order to conserve your energy so that you can battle this. And replace fear with curiosity. So instead of being fearful, look at it like, well, what is interesting about that? Or what positive could come from that? You know, research it. Get on Google and research your situation that is fearing you. But ask for the positive side of it. And then you'll build a new identity, okay? Same thing there. What type of person do you want to be? How do those people act? How do they live? And you're going to just do your best to tell yourself that that's who you're turning into. Do your best to walk the walk and talk the talk. And, you know, just as it takes time to break an addiction, it will take time for you to turn into that identity. All of this is poison, okay? And what you're going to do, you're going to tell yourself that you are going to now turn the poison into your medicine, okay? You're no longer going to let this poison rot you from the inside out. You're not going to let it kill you. Whoever sent this poison your way, whoever fed this poison to you, is not going to win. You're going to fight. You're going to take something, okay, that was meant to break you. The pain, the betrayal, the trauma, mistakes, fears, loss is a big one. Betrayal is a big one. And you're going to use it as your force, okay? That empowers you to be better than what you were and what you are, okay? You're going to use that as your force, your fuel. And that is how you alchemize the soul. So instead of letting it destroy you, you're going to digest that poison, okay? Yeah, they fed it to you. You took it. You're going to digest it, okay? And then you're going to transform it. You're going to shit it out. And you're going to turn it into wisdom so that you can help others, so you know what not to do next time, who not to let in your life next time. You're going to turn it into strength. You know you can fight the battle because you just made it through. You know you can take the poison because you're still alive. And now you got purpose. You're going to walk right into your purpose with middle fingers up. Straight. Middle fingers up. Fuck you. Okay? Healing is not about avoiding the dark. Healing is about transforming the dark, bringing the light to the dark, shining in on it, and saying, I know what the fuck you are. And not today. You don't admire or look up to people who had perfect lives. I don't. Want to know why? Because they don't know what it's like to go through things. What is there to admire about that? What is there to admire about somebody who has not struggled and who did not make it from the bottom? I like warriors. I like fighters. That's what I like. I want to hear those stories. Those stories touch my heart. I want to read books about those people. Okay? So people who have it all, who don't struggle, who have never struggled, who have had it since they were born, who have had it because it runs through their family, who maybe have gone through a little bit of something but not really nothing because they play it safe all the time. Yeah, that's not strong and courageous. Okay? And they're boring. I want to talk and relate to someone, and I want to hear their stories about people who have been through some shit and who have lived to talk about it. You need to start realizing that what you've been through, not a lot of people can make it through without trying to end something. And I don't know about you, but I need you to pull through, because we're gonna need each other here when shit starts going down, and I need some strong warriors on my side so we can show motherfuckers you better pull that courage and that strength up from your gut. It's time to fight. Realize who the fuck you are. Realize it. Who the fuck are you? Why are you still here? There's a reason why you're still here. You better be proud of yourself. Stop looking down on yourself. Be proud. You're a fucking warrior. Better get that shit. Alright. Enough. My gangster side's coming out. But yeah. Like I said, I know people post a lot of videos and, inspirational videos, whatever, but I don't ever really see true ways that people can use daily wherever they're at that doesn't involve meditation on how to fix this. And I don't ever really tell them or see them say, it's going to take some hard work, because it is. You're going to cry. You're going to have rough days. There's going to be days where you don't want to work on it, where you don't tell yourself stop with the negative shit, right? And that's fine. That happens. But give yourself a fighting chance, because the fact that all this stuff derives from childhood means you never was given a fighting chance. So grab that child that didn't have a fighting chance, put him on your hip, cuddle him, and tell him, I got you. We're going to fight through this, and we're going to get our chance back. You deserve to walk in your purpose. Okay? Alright, y'all. Have a good night.